Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name's Jo Booth, and today I want to talk to you about how to use Twitter for business. So first of all, why Twitter for business? Well, did you know there are 339 million users of Twitter, and 17 million of those are in the UK. The largest demographic is 18 to 34-year-olds, and 500 million people have used the site without ever logging in. 80% of Twitter users also access the platform via mobile, which is really important to think about when we're creating our content. Things to think about in terms of how it stands out from other platforms. Well, first of all, it's got a lot less complicated algorithm compared to, say, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Think of it more as a chronological feed. So you can afford to post a little more regularly on there, and also it means that the feed moves a lot faster. So it's where news breaks. So if your brand is particularly tapped into a news topic or has a lot of kind of conversation around those matters, then this is definitely the platform for you. It also equally supports business to business and business to consumer businesses. So for me, it's the kind of universal platform that we should all be looking to use. One of the key benefits is that people and pages have the same clout and credibility, I suppose. The way you log in and access your account is identical. So again, as opposed to other platforms where pages and businesses are maybe held back, on Twitter you have equal accessibility. You also, as a small brand, have the opportunity to trend and be part of a massive topic as well as big businesses. When, for example, we're working on smaller programs, I don't worry that they're necessarily going to trend, but the likelihood is that if you've got around 100 people talking about your thing, your program, brand, whatever, all at once, you probably will trend. So the little guys can trend just as easily as the big guys. And for me, that offers a real opportunity to get yourself exposed to more audiences. Some other things to consider. It's a free platform. So again, it's another way to access your audience easily and for free. You can stay on top of trends and information, be part of ongoing conversations, reach new audiences, and experiment with tone. This is a great opportunity to have a play around and see what really works for your brand. So now we know we want to be using Twitter, what do we need to do to our profile? So your profile is really broken down into 4 key elements. Your first part being your profile picture. Your profile picture is a circular shape. Its best dimensions are 400 by 400 pixels. Please make sure that this is a really good, high quality image. You want to make sure that if it's a headshot, you're clear in the headshot. If it's a logo, your logo's not cut off. If you're taking a picture of a product, it's really clear and easy to see, okay? This is the thing that everybody's going to see every time you tweet, so make sure it's the strongest image you can make it. Your banner image is 1500 by 500 pixels. So again, you want to make sure this is a really nice image. We tend to say things like promotional images, maybe offers and stuff like that, have it changing on a regular basis, whereas your logo is probably going to stay the same throughout. The next thing you're going to want to think about is your name, which might sound really strange, but you only have 15 characters as your handle. So your handle is your @, so it's your username. So if your name is 17, 18, 19 characters long, then you're going to need to come up with a way of shortening that that's easy for people to remember, easy to spell, and visible. You can then put your name above it. You have 50 characters there to make sure that people can actually read your full business name. The next thing you want to think about is your link. You need to make sure that you're including a link to your website or a particular promotional page. You want to drive as much traffic as possible when using Twitter. You also want to make sure to include your location. So if you are somebody that provides stuff across the UK, then put UK. But if you're a regional or maybe you're a physical store, you want to make sure that you put exactly where you are. And if you are a physical premises, then you might want to put your hours of operation as well, so your opening hours in your bio. That brings me on to your bio. Make sure you also fill out your bio. Make sure people understand who you are, what you're offering, and what you want to do. So if you want to be conversational, invite them to be conversational in your bio. And then lastly, the 4th thing to really consider is your primary retail space, which is your top tweet. Now, this can be one of 2 things. It can just be a chronological feed going through every tweet that you've done, or you can pin a tweet to the top. And I recommend that you do pin tweets when you're off, you've got a special offer on, something you really want to draw your followers' attention to, then pin it to the top of your page. This is a great retail space, as I just said, so you want to make sure that you're absolutely capitalizing on that. However, please don't forget to unpin it. If your offer ends on the 31st of December, unpin it on the 31st of December. If you leave old content on there or a pinned tweet that just stays up for too long, people are going to visit your page and think that you're no longer posting because they're just going to see that date. So make sure to regularly update your pinned tweet. So now we've got our profile sorted, we need to start thinking about those dreaded hashtags. So what is a hashtag? A hashtag simply is the symbol, hashtag, followed by a word or phrase. So for example, if I put hashtag social media, but I put a space, the word social becomes the hashtag. If I don't put a space, it becomes hashtag social media. The thing with this is it means that it pulls you together into a feed of other people talking about that conversation. So if I do hashtag social media, if I click on it, it becomes a link and it takes me into a feed filled with other people talking about social media. Fantastic. However, nobody owns a hashtag. I've seen people get very protective over particular hashtags, okay? So please don't, but you don't own them. You can use bespoke ones. You can find one that nobody else is using and use it, but if somebody else wants to come along and use it too, there's nothing you can do about that. I would actually say that you should be using hashtags more to emphasize what you're talking about in a tweet, join an ongoing conversation that already exists, or maybe using them as a search term, which I'll explain in a second. So what do I mean by that? Let's say you're a holiday lets company. If you do hashtag holiday lets or hashtag UK holidays, the chances are that the feed that you're going to appear in is just going to be filled with other holiday lets companies. It's not going to be filled with your audience. And surely those are the people you want to be speaking to. So rather than tweeting that, why don't you search the hashtag I need a holiday? Because that is going to bring up a full list of your audience who are sitting there moaning about how much they need your services. So that's a free one for all the holiday companies out there. So use hashtags in different and creative ways. Next up, we need to be making engaging and shareable content. So what's involved? So the do's, your tweet copy. Do keep it short and sweet. You're allowed up to 280 characters, but I would actually advise you to do around 100 or less. Use 1 or 2 hashtags. Using more than 1 or 2 hashtags per tweet actually reduces the shareability of your tweet. So 1 or 2 is the sweet spot. You want to make sure that your tweet copy has a call to action. Tell your audience what you want them to do and how to do it. So click now, read more, click more, read more, buy more, buy now, sorry, that should be. Whatever you want them to do, give them a clear call to action. Be conversational in tone. By the nature of the platform, it's a conversational platform, so make sure you're being chatty. Use things like polls, ask questions of your audience, get them involved. Test everything that you do. Look at what's worked, what's not worked, do more of it. This is a great platform because you can be so fast and afford to do so much more than you can on other platforms. Make sure to be optimizing those emojis. Make sure you get lots of those in your tweets. If you don't know why, then watch my other video all about why to use emojis in your social content. Make sure to post links. If you're going to do a call to action, you need to put that link in there too. Unlike other platforms that penalize you for sending people away, Twitter does not work in the same way, so you don't have to worry about posting lots of links. You also want to be using a mixture of content. So you want to be doing tweets that are just text-based, GIF-based, picture-based, and video-based. So make sure you're using a regular mixture of different types of content. Your video should be 15 seconds or less. And your video should consist of what your product is, what you want your audience to do, and how they need to do it. So, this is my product, this is what it does for you, and here's where you can buy it, okay? That's all it needs to contain. But make sure your video has a sound off strategy. So make sure you're putting captions and subtitles on all your video and making it accessible as possible to everybody. Some don'ts. Don't write all in caps lock, okay? It looks childish and shouty and I don't like it. Don't put images covered in text. This is something I see all the time. People think because they've got a word limit that they're gonna stick the words on the images. This does not convert well, don't do it. Don't just use stock images. Try and take your own images too. Don't use boring and bland colors. Use lots of colors. Twitter's a really vibrant and bright platform. Make use of the color palette. Use something like this. Don't overpost, but also don't underpost, all right? A lot of people say to me, well, how many times should I be posting on Twitter? Again, it comes down to your audience. So you want to think about, how often can they bear hearing from you? That sounds awful, doesn't it? But how often do they want to hear from you? They want to hear from you when you've got something special to say, special offer to give them. Maybe you're asking them a question. If you're just posting for the sake of posting, don't bother. Be strategic in what you're saying. And like I said, look at what's working. If you're posting once a day and that's working, great. Maybe try twice a day. If that stops working, do less. I would generally say that once a day is probably about right for most businesses. Don't forget to check your spelling and grammar, okay? The problem with Twitter is there's no edit button. So once it's out there in the ether, it's out there. So please double check absolutely everything. If you need any more support or ideas, then please visit business.twitter.com, where you'll find lots of free resources and guides. Good luck. Please remember to like this video and hit subscribe. I will see you on another video. Thanks for watching.